Hello and welcome back to the FC's Football channel and today's match preview for the Manchester United versus Burnley Premier League game. Now Manchester United comes to this game sat in second in the Premier League while Burnley are just outside the relegation zone in 17th. However, I imagine they will be clear of relegation. Points wise they're not too far in it. But look, they're 17th for a reason. They're not having their greatest year. Now in their last game Burnley, they lost to fellow relegation strugglers Newcastle, putting Newcastle above them. Newcastle winning that game 2-1. While Manchester United, of course, we won our last Premier League game 3-1 against Tottenham. And we also won our last game in general. That was 2-0 against Granada in the Europa League. Now, if we think back to that reverse fixture between these two sides, that was, of course, that 1-0 win at Turf Moor, thanks to that Paul Pogba screamer in the 71st minute. It wasn't the most convincing performance, but we got it over the line. And that's what it's all about. And especially at that moment, considering how close we were to the top, it was all about just getting results over the line. And that's what we did in that game. This time, I want to see us be more controlling. I want to see us go out there and really dominate this Burnley side. And put a few past them, not just have to kind of rely on what was a screamer, like I said, about from Paul Pogba. A little bit more spice to get added to this game is that over the last couple of years, we just haven't been able to beat Burnley at Old Trafford. I don't know what's happened, but we just haven't been able to do it. I mean, last year, obviously, we lost to them, was it 2-0? And obviously, that was our final game before we decided to pluck up the courage and pluck up the money to buy Bruno Fernandes. And look how that has transformed our fortunes, really. He's made us a different breed. So, for that, Burnley, thanks for beating us last time out. But talking team news for today. For Burnley, Nick Pope is touch and go, according to Sean Dyche. And Dwight McNeil has a knock, but he has a slight chance of playing. So he's equally about touch and go. Manchester United, our injury news and team news is pretty good, to be fair. He's looking like he's going to be able to play against Burnley today if called upon. Of course, Shaw, McTominay and Maguire, they're all back. However, we do go into this game, of course, still without Anthony Martial, who has that knee injury. And, of course, Phil Jones, but do we care about Phil Jones? That's why he doesn't even make the graphic. And with that being said, this is the team I would go for today if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In fact, I've got two teams, and it depends. Most of it is the same. We'll get to the differences when we get there. So, in the back four, I've gone for our normal back four, apart from I would play Tuanzebe instead of Lindelof. I think Lindelof had a good game against Granada in the second leg. I think Tuanzebe had a very good game. And I think he deserves the chance to try and grow on that and build off that good performance, like he never got the chance to do after the PSG game. And I just think, look, Lindelof, we know he still has that back injury. While he is playing and playing well, when we have other players who can play, just take him out. I don't think there's any need to play Lindelof. As well as that, Lindelof is very vulnerable in this type of game against a Chris Wood, against an Ashley Barnes, against a Matteo Vydra, because they're all dominant in the air and they're strong players, which is the type of player that we've seen in the past Victor Lindelof often struggle against. So I would start Tuanzebe in this game. Of course, Dean Henderson is in goal. Dean Henderson's our new number one, isn't he? There's no point in me keep going, oh, I think De Gea should play. You guys all know my opinion on David De Gea versus Dean Henderson. I like David De Gea. I think he's a better goalkeeper. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seemingly picked Dean Henderson, so we're just going to see him play all the time, aren't we? And then this is where, for me, it's interesting, and that's in the midfield double pivot. I think we can either go with this double pivot, which is Pogba and Fred, and then in the front line we see Van der Beek, we see Greenwood, we see Bruno Fernandes, and then we see Cavani up top. I think Pogba's incredible in that double pivot, and I think that's probably where he is best. I wouldn't play Rashford because I think, look, he's still going to be carrying some sort of a knock in my opinion. Greenwood is having a fantastic spurt at the moment. And I think over the last few games when Rashford has even been taken off or hasn't played is when we've been really good. Or we could go with this team. It's very similar to the one we just saw. But I've gone for Donny van der Beek and Nemanja Matic in the pivot. And I've gone for Paul Pogba out on the left with, again, Greenwood out on the right. I think Pogba on that left wing has caused so many problems for teams and has been fantastic. I think he creates for our striker, and that's something we don't have this season, really, from our wingers. We don't create chances for our number 9. With Pogba there, we do. So for me, you could go Pogba on the wing, but then I think you have to play Donny van der Beek. What I would say is, if we are playing Donny van der Beek in the pivot, I want to see Matic next to him. I don't think a Van der Beek and a Fred really works. I don't think there's enough height there, and that would worry me with Fred and Van der Beek. Although, like, if we're winning this game, you could probably try it. I would probably go for my first team with Pogba in the double pivot alongside Fred. I think it's just more mobile, and I think Donny van der Beek and his movement is better going forward. But I think he can obviously do a fantastic job in the double pivot. And then this is the team I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will go with. I think he'll go pretty much what we saw and what we see most games. I think he'll go Henderson in goal. Obviously, like I mentioned, I think he is the first choice goalkeeper now. The normal back four we always see of Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw. Then in the double pivot, I think we will see McFred, as we always seem to see nowadays. Then in the front, I think we will see Rashford. I don't know which wing he will play off. Of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently has been putting him on both the left and the right. And then I've gone for Pogba on the right, Bruno at 10 and Cavani up top. And look, I think if Greenwood is dropped, I think that's quite unfair on him. I think he's in good form. I would like to see him play and try and build on what good form he is on. But I can see him being dropped for Rashford now. Rashford is deemed to be fully fit. But just briefly on the game, look, it's a game we should be winning. Let's make no doubts about it. Burnley aren't a walkover. Of course they're not. They are a strong side. They're a physical side. They're a side. They don't give you an inch. They will fight and they will battle for every long ball, for every ball into the box. And when they have it, they're direct. Look, everyone knows how they play, but it's hard to stop them at times. And defensively, look, they're going to be well drilled. They want to win at Old Trafford again. It's a big moment for a lot of these players. They want to win at Old Trafford, so they're going to be at their best. I think it's a positive for us that Pope might not be able to play, and that would see Peacock Farrell play, who's not as good of a goalkeeper as Pope, but look, he's still a good goalkeeper, isn't he? He's not going to be terrible. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, we have traditionally struggled against Burnley at Old Trafford in recent years. But to be honest, I think we will put that, jinx to bed. I think we will win this game. I'm going to go for another 2-0 Manchester United win. Now, if you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. Make sure you turn on the notification bell on so you don't miss when I go live for the watch along. The details are, of course, on my side. Like I said, comment down below your predictions for this game. And thank you all for watching. Have a good one. In a bit. Peace.